First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by WeatherRate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. Welcome in. I'm sure you're getting ready to either, watch the fireworks on TV or you're heading out to fireworks or whatever. So whether you're streaming on your mobile device, your cell phone, your iPad, or you're just sitting at home, chilling, relaxing here on this 4th of July, we want to update you on the tropics. We had some developments earlier this evening at about 5 o'clock on that area that we have, been watching all week long. The National Hurricane Center had it, highlighted as a low risk of development on Monday, or really Sunday and into Monday. In the last several days, we've seen that risk gradually increase, and now we could potentially see our third named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. So out there tonight, yes, we had a few isolated thunderstorms on the First Coast. Those have all subsided. We'll watch for a few light showers to move on shore near some of our coastal areas. That's really not the big concern, though. The right-hand side of your screen, you can see that cluster of clouds, some rain, some lightning and thunder as well. That is what is now Tropical Depression 3. So a lot of convection and cloud, high cold cloud tops on the eastern side of that, almost, what we often call the dirty side of the storm. So that means good news for us. We're not going to be seeing, the worst of the rainfall or the winds from this storm, but it is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm either by late tonight or by very early tomorrow morning, and then continue its trek northward towards the South Carolina, coastline. So as I mentioned, Tropical Depression 3 is what it is currently called. Sustained winds at 35 miles per hour, very slowly moving to the north at 2 miles per hour currently, but it will bring some gusty winds to the First Coast. 25 to 30 miles per hour will be possible wind gusts along our coastlines and beaches. It's going to make for some rough surf, some choppy waters in the intercoastal and the St. Johns River. So if you're planning on making tomorrow a boat day, probably won't be the nicest day for it. Also, the rip current risk out at our area beaches will have a moderate rip current risk with 2 to 3 foot surf height throughout the day tomorrow. Conditions will improve by the end of the weekend with regards to at the beaches and on our coastal waterways and the St. Johns River. But nonetheless, this is the first system that has gotten this close to the First Coast, at least here this season. So anticipated to strengthen into Tropical Storm Chantal. That is the next named storm on the list. Of course, remember, we've already had Andrea and Barry. So Chantal would be the next name on the list. And we really don't have to increase the wind speed all that much to get there. Remember, tropical storm force winds are 39 miles per hour or greater. Right now we're sitting at 35. So just a little bit of some extra strengthening and tightening up of the overall circulation within that low pressure can easily get it to that tropical storm strength. So it is going to be a low end tropical storm, just barely a tropical storm, as it makes its way towards the South Carolina coast, where we do currently have tropical storm watches in effect from not in Wilmington, from the southern tip of North Carolina. So pretty much from Oak Island, North Carolina, extending southward down through Myrtle Beach and the whole way to Charleston, ending just before you get to Beaufort there in South Carolina. So tropical storm watches currently in effect for Tropical Depression 3, again, anticipating it to eventually strengthen into Tropical Storm Chantal. Here is what some of the spaghetti models and forecast models are showing, the vast majority of which pretty much take it straight into Charleston Harbor there, unfortunately, by late Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Some models differ a little bit on how quickly this storm will move northward, but generally speaking, that cone is also pretty much in line with where the spaghetti models are showing. Now, you will notice there are a couple on the left-hand side that do bring it a little bit closer to Savannah, Georgia, and even the Brunswick area, just to the north of there. We don't necessarily anticipate that you're not in that cone of uncertainty. But nonetheless, the impacts that we're going to experience here on the First Coast will remain the same. So it was a little bit breezy out there today and will continue as such during the overnight period. And then as you head into your Saturday tomorrow, a little bit more of a north-northeast wind. We were anticipating a bit of a more northeast. I think there will be a little bit more of a northerly northeast, vector to it. So strongest wind gusts likely going to be seen across coastal southeast Georgia. So from St. Mary's and St. Simon's Island up to Brunswick, sustained winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts upwards of 25 to 30. And then generally speaking, winds will be a little bit lighter once you get inland pretty much to I-95 and areas west of there. Wind gusts really aren't going to get higher than about 20 miles per hour for most of our inland locations, unless you're right along the western banks in the St. Johns River throughout the day tomorrow. And then as we speed it up, you can see that center of circulation heading northward and away from the first coast. As it pulls away on the back side of that, we're going to have much more of a westerly or southwesterly wind by Sunday. So that will thankfully calm things down on our waterways and at the beaches. It will lessen that rip current risk, but we'll also actually pull in some extra moisture from the Gulf, and we'll bring some more thunderstorm chances by the end of the weekend. But I've already mentioned, the rip current risk. Wave height at about 2 to 3 feet, that moderate rip current risk. So if you're planning on heading out to the beaches tomorrow, either, if it's just you or you've got, kiddos that you're taking, be mindful. Really only super strong swimmers should be out in the water. It's going to be pretty choppy out there. The wave period's only going to be about 5 or 6 seconds at the most. So the waves are going to come in rather quickly. So not really just the greatest beach day, either to be in the water or to just be sitting out there. Again, it's going to be pretty windy, 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts sustained anywhere from 10 to 20. So just not an overall great day. And of course, then we're still going to have, cloud streaming on shore along with some coastal showers early in the morning. You'll notice that here, especially across our coastal southeast Georgia. Glenn and Camden County have the chance for some coastal showers initially. And then some, just kind of waves of moisture, bands of some isolated thunderstorms through the afternoon and into the evening hours, just kind of making Saturday not the nicest day to have outdoor plans. But you'll notice this model actually speeds it up a little bit quicker than some of the longer range models do, having it make landfall very close to Charleston, if not right overhead of them there, by pretty much this time tomorrow night. So that'll be very interesting to see just how quickly this thing does move northward. Again, it's only just meandering around about 2 miles to the north currently. But nonetheless, South Carolina and southern North Carolina will have the worst of the storm. They could see wind gusts upwards of about 40 miles per hour and some higher rainfall totals for them. So here's another way to look at it. If you want to time out your holiday weekend here, very humid and muggy to start off tomorrow morning. That northeast breeze will continue pretty much all day. And then we'll watch for those thunderstorms after lunchtime. So some morning showers and then those thunderstorms through the afternoon and into the evening hours. And of course, we've discussed that rip current risk out at the beaches. So keep a strong hold on those little ones if you're planning on splashing around in the water at all tomorrow. And then Sunday, it heats up rather quickly. We're going to start the morning in the mid-70s, quickly warm into the low 90s by about 1 or 2 o'clock. Thankfully, not going to be nearly as windy. But as I mentioned, it'll pull in some extra moisture from the Gulf, and we will see, another round of some, thunderstorms by Sunday afternoon and evening, likely just below our weather impact alert criteria. So if you're just now tuning in, again, the latest update from the National Hurricane Center as of 8 p.m. This, originally came out at 5 o'clock, but now the 8 o'clock update, pretty much the exact same thing. Tropical Depression 3 has officially formed in the Atlantic, about 150 miles to the east of Jacksonville, and is expected to very slowly intensify just a hair to eventually reach tropical storm status. So it will become Tropical Storm Chantal, and will then slowly make its way towards the South Carolina coastline. So if you have any, travel plans perhaps this weekend, if you're going up I-95 to visit friends or family in Charleston for the holiday weekend, or Myrtle Beach, or even Wilmington, to be honest with you, be mindful, it's not going to be the nicest weekend for them. They're going to see some gusty winds. Again, those tropical storm watches are in effect from Charleston to Myrtle Beach and including Oak Island in southern North Carolina. So that will include wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour. They're going to see the heaviest of the rain and thunderstorms. Although still here at home, we're still expecting, storms. But the overall amount of rain is likely going to be lesser than what we were originally expecting earlier in the week. If you remember back, Monday and Tuesday, we were talking about rain totals out towards the Suwannee Valley and the I-75 corridor, talking 4 to 6 inches of rain. And for Jacksonville, 1 to 3 inches area wide. Now it's very much closer to about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain area wide for Jacksonville, with locally higher amounts of about 1 to 2 in areas that happen to see multiple thunderstorms over the next 2 days. And then meanwhile, out towards the Suwannee, places like Columbia County, Baker, Union, down towards Gainesville, you're probably going to see more than about 1 to 3 inches of rain over the next couple of days and by the end of Sunday evening. So thankfully, in our case, our overall rain totals have come down substantially. So is the localized flooding concern still a possibility? Of course. I mean, we still had that urban flooding in San Marco on Sunday night and Monday night earlier this week. So if you do get a thunderstorm to roll on through, the precipitable water values in these thunderstorms are very high. I mean, it's a very juicy, moist, tropical air mass that when it does rain, it's going to be pouring cats and dogs out there, essentially. Torrential downpours are very possible, but it's not going to be an all-day rain. I do want to stress that. So you're just going to have kind of off and on showers, isolated thunderstorms, heavy downpours, but you might get one at 11 a.m. and then you might be dry for a couple hours and then it'll rain from 3 to 4 and then you have maybe a break through dinner time and then it rains again 8 to 9 o'clock. Those aren't specific times, but just to give you an idea a little bit, we will have breaks in the action. Again, they're going to be bands of some showers and thunderstorms that roll on in throughout the day tomorrow. Sunday, a little bit of a different story, as at that point what will more than likely be Tropical Storm Chantal. As the storm moves away to the northeast, we get more of a westerly breeze, and then we're really back to kind of those daily sea breeze collisions, essentially. So the westerly breeze will pretty much pin that sea breeze much closer to our beaches in the I-95 corridor. So best chance to see thunderstorms on Sunday will be late in the afternoon, early in the evening, up and down I-95 and around Jacksonville and St. Johns County and locations like that. But that, isn't going to be an all-day event either. So the first half of Sunday looking much better. Sunday afternoon, some thunderstorms, but likely only about 60% coverage, so just below our weather impact alert threshold. Whereas, tomorrow, between the scattered to numerous thunderstorms and rain chances and the rip current risk on what is, the biggest holiday weekend of the summer, tons and tons of folks are heading out to the beaches because of those two things. That's why we have the weather impact alert in place for your Saturday afternoon and evening. Rip currents probably won't be as bad before about 11 a.m. I would say after 11, and especially as you get into the afternoon and evening hours, you want to be mindful of, trying to watch out for some of those rip currents. So just to kind of wrap things up here before we go, currently Tropical Depression 3, sustained winds of 35 miles per hour currently is forecasted to strengthen into Tropical Storm Chantal and make its way towards the South Carolina and North Carolina coastlines here by late tomorrow night and into early Sunday morning. Our impacts here on the First Coast: rain and thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow, moderate rip current out at the beaches, and then all of this will clear off to the north, and we're pretty much back to our daily thunderstorm chances and intense heat and humidity through most of next week. Temperatures in the mid-90s, real field temperatures anywhere from about 104 to 107 degrees, very, very close to heat advisory criteria. So that'll be the next big talking point as we head into next week. But as things change here on the tropical front, and if this storm strengthens, we'll be sure to let you know on air and, of course, right here on First Coast News Plus as well. I'm meteorologist Ross Mumal. Take care, folks, and enjoy the rest of your 4th of July.